This is from your parents. And this one, as you hear this, you need to put yourself in mom and dad's shoes. Because as I read this, I was like, oh yeah, I was so there. We cannot begin to say how excited we are for Jacqueline. It has been outstanding watching her grow during this journey. We came to McClellan's Academy after years of gymnastics. In spite of her parents, athletics has always come effortlessly to Jacqueline. Gymnastics was no exception. The challenge was the pressures that came along with it. You could watch her stress rise as she would try that next level jump, spin, or tuck. You could see the frustration in her coaches as she pushed them away, not wanting the stress that came along with being a good athlete. The stress was shown not just in the gym, but in other areas of her life. Days where she would need to perform in school activities like choir or orchestra, you could see the anxiety rise. When the night of the concert came, she would witness the kids buzzing around, so excited they could not contain themselves. Yet her stress, combined with that energy, made her so pale. There was no question she wanted to be anywhere but there. As parents, we knew she needed an outlet, but we had no idea what it could be. Jacqueline's mom visited some of the martial arts schools in the area, but she could tell right away they were not going to fit Jacqueline's needs. Then she visited the McClellans. Right away, Jacqueline's mom thought if any place were good for her, this would be the place. Jacqueline came for a trial night and immediately began to figure out how to apply everything she learned about gymnastics to this new sport, Taekwondo. She loved coming here, and us as parents loved taking to a place where she felt so comfortable. It was so enjoyable to watch her have so much fun, until that day we dreaded came. Miss McClellan announced the day of Jacqueline's first belt test. We looked at each other and said, maybe it'll be okay, but had a tone in our voices that actually said, huh, it was fun while it lasted. The day of testing came, and let us be very clear, Jacqueline was very nervous, but not in a going pale kind of way, just a typical way, like any kid would be before performance or competition. She went onto the floor and did great. Suddenly, test after test, she overcame her fears and performed excellently. This did not convince us that her anxiety was resolved. Life outside of Taekwondo still could be overwhelming for her, and we wondered if that anxiety would find its way into Taekwondo. The day this was tested happened during the National Championship at the Columbus Conference Center. For those of you who were not there, let me try to paint the picture of what we saw from a pair of very concerned parents' eyes. We entered this huge room filled with people shoulder to shoulder. We had no idea where we should be, and as we made our way cutting through the crowds, we saw numbered signs within taped-off areas on the floor, and knew at least where we were going to compete. Very soon after that, we met up with the McClellans. Relief came over Jacqueline as she knew she was with her coaches and knew where she was going to compete. Still, she had to perform in this place with all these people. The judges called Jacqueline's group and her competition began. Things were going great until the sparring rounds. During one of her spars, she took a blow to the nose. It wasn't until after she left the sparring area that her nose started to bleed. And bleed. And bleed. The doctor came running and began to treat her. The judges soon followed, wanting to know if Jacqueline was going to stay in the competition or drop out. We did not want to say she was going to drop, but yet at the same time, we had no idea if she was going to be able to spar anymore. I told her. The judges decided to let us think on it and change the lineup slightly to give Jacqueline more time to heal. However, by the third time asking Jacqueline if Jacqueline was going to spar, while her nose was still bleeding, the stress of the entire sparring round getting off schedule was showing in their tone. They finally said to us, we had to decide, and right now. I told her I could do it and should not back out in spite of the dirty looks the doctor was giving me. But I also said that only she could make that decision, and I would be happy with whatever she decided. She looked back at me with that same fear she had at all those school concerts. Let me quickly remind you, here we are in a room that is loud, with competitions going on all around us, people squeezed in shoulder to shoulder, trying to see anything that's going on, and a judge telling Jacqueline that unless she says yes right this very minute, they will drop her from the rest of the sparring competition. The stress? It was in the 11. She took a few deep breaths and turned to me and said, I want to go on. At this point in the match, there was no one left to go but her and her sparring partner. She rushed from the doctor's area directly into the sparring section. Anxiety-filled and a sore nose to boot, the match started, and she won. Then the next match started, and the next, and the next. When it was all said and done, she ended up getting a 3rd place medal in sparring and a 2nd bloody nose. It was exciting. But then Jacqueline looked over, and only in Taekwondo is a bloody nose. She got up, but then Jacqueline looked over and saw the girl who had given her the bloody nose, who had gotten 2nd in sparring competition, was in tears. She got up and walked over to her. My first thought was fear of what was about to happen. The old Jacqueline would have at the very least yelled at this girl, and at the worst, shown her how a bloody nose feels. But instead, she hugged her and told her how great she was sparring and thoroughly deserved 2nd place. Since that day, she has begged to continue to go to Taekwondo. She now assists in teaching the little ninjas. She walks into the area with the kids running all over the mats. There was a time that energy would have sent her straight out of there, but not now. She now looks at the students and leads them with confidence. We cannot even begin to say how grateful we are to Taekwondo and the McClellans. It has been wonderful watching Jacqueline grow into the astonishing person she is today. We know that this journey is not over. We are excited to see how she grows and matures in this new Taekwondo chapter.
First degree probationary black belt, Miss Jacqueline Reed!